Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Hazelburn 15 single cask Cognac butt, 53.9% ABV. Dustin, sent to us by a guy named Quaker Oats.
Breakfast of Mike.
I tell you, every day playing oatmeal. Every day, Dustin. So if you want this hairline, Quaker Oats every day.
Don't think that had anything to do with it.
We want to thank another one of our subscribers and friends for sending us this sample. Everyone knows we're huge Springbank fans, and anytime we get a single cask, man, we like to take advantage if we can. Dustin's never picked a short glass yet.
Every time taking the closest one to me. I always look and then
we have reviews that will say a different story, Dustin.
There's one time I did.
But he was nice enough to send us this one. Everyone knows we're a huge fan of Hazelburn, Springbank Distillery, Scotch in general, cask strength, and the Cognac cask is a little something. So this is just the whole time in a Cognac cask?
You know, I'm not sure. Usually these things are like
Finishings
traditionally, but
single cask? I don't know.
I think he would have given us a breakdown because he did on other samples. By the way, for those wondering, we've had a few people comment that we're no longer, the top dogs on Springbank reviews. And
in terms of volume?
Well, there's Gab's Drams. He has been killing it, man. He's reviewed every one of the 30s they've released, all the new 25s. So
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, Gab has been killing it. So we're trying to catch up with him.
Hey, buddy, we got 80 views in our Springbank queue. Like 21 days of view time. Let's
talk about for this year.
Oh, okay. Them fighting words. Here we come.
Yeah, fighting words. I heard you, Cohen.
All right, Springbank triple distilled Hazelburn triple distilled from the Springbank Distillery, unpeated. For you guys who don't know, if you have first time you're tuning in, we're big fans of Hazelburn, Springbank in general. So
Hazelburn's been killing it lately, Mike. They have really crushed it. I wish I'd gotten some samples or something of the 21.
If you think whiskey's going down, just check out Springbank. I tell you what, the Hazelburns, some of the Springbank 12 releases lately, man, they've been dynamite.
This is much more citrus and sharp than I was expecting at first, Mike. With Cognac, I was expecting a little bit more darker notes initially, but
yeah, I was thinking cigar notes, things of that.
Yeah, I was expecting. So I've got reset my expectations here.
Did I read this right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. He showed me the bottle. He sent me a photo of it, and it was a lot darker. When it's all in the bottle.
You're right. There is a sharp citrus initially.
Yeah, I mean, as I dig in, I am getting cognac, but it's like I don't know. It's almost like a refilled cognac note.
Brown sugar.
Definitely.
There's that underlining Hazelburn sweetness to it.
There is a beautiful sweetness to this whiskey. I mean, it's interesting. Hazelburn's very citrusy, very upfront, that crystalline sugars and citrus notes. But the back end of this is it's dark, but it's not super dark.
Dude, in the middle of one of the nosings, it just went straight to bubblegum. Chewy bubblegum. Right alongside that citrus. Sugar. A twinge of baking spice.
A little bit of lemon rind.
I was going to say some type of the skin of a lemon or a lime. Just the rind.
There is a citrus rind here for sure, but there's also it's almost, it's I guess a hint of a red fruit, but it's a very sweet, sour, candied red fruit.
Well, the bubblegum note, something like sugar bubblegum, this happens to be a red bubblegum, almost has a twinge of, not red I would say, but a twinge of some type of darker sweetness.
Distinct strawberry candies.
Strawberry candies is a good thing, yeah.
A drizzle you might get on a cheesecake.
Yeah, the red note, I wasn't saying it right, but the strawberry drizzle is a good way to say it.
There is a nice oakiness that is well integrated with a nice little puff of alcohol. We're 53.4. Yeah, that's
it's a big 9? 4.9.
53.9.
Yeah.
So it's kind of right in that that sweet spot, right?
Now it's coming up. Now it's getting a little dirty. A little funky. Yeah, the thing with samples, it can't aerate much, so I never know when people send us samples, they just crack the bottle or if it's been open.
The bottle's open, but it was not it was a pretty high bottle. He showed me a photo before he poured.
Man. Yeah, I'm looking for the distinct differences with the cognac cask. You know what I mean? I'm just.
I really haven't
a little
had
bit.
Springbank and cognac. In fact, I don't think I've ever had Springbank and cognac. If I did, it would have been I don't think I have. Unless it was like, part of a mix, but like never anything like that's all it was.
Now, like a sweet, and this is going to sound weird, a sweet black licorice that isn't like really tart, you know what I mean? But there's an underlying black licorice slightly.
I can see a little bit of anise. Or an anise, or however you say it.
Yeah, this is a little more subtle than I expected.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. It's very subtle.
I mean, there's a lot of things I can pick out as Hazelburn. I'm thinking like cognac cask, like, yeah, I'm going to get into this, get into tobacco leaf, like it's...
If you gave me this blind, I would honestly think this is like an independent bottling where they use some kind of, refilled finishing cask. And I would really be struggling with trying to figure out what I'm nosing here. I would kind of lean toward Cadenheads, though. I will say that. I would think Cadenhead. Oh, man. I tell you what, though. It does, if you give it time in the glass and you kind of keep going back, it really does reward you with some really nice notes. Oh, that is really nice. It's subtle, but very well done.
Dark oak sweetness, and as soon as you swallow, plum and raisin. Nice wisp of smoke here on the long linger. Sweetness is coming back.
Okay.
Oak note's really nice in this. Now a little bit of lemon lime fruit, maybe some type of an apple, not green, red. A little bit of twinge of orange. What are you picking up?
Well, first off, Mike, as soon as it touches the tongue, it's Springbank.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely recognizable.
And that finish is Springbank all day. I've got a little bit of sea salt coming through.
There is a little bit of cold.
Nice sweetness up front.
It's big on the swallow.
The finish is kind of giving me a little bit of a cognac note. It's kind of a sort of smoked sweetness, like maybe you take the sugar cookies that Springbank's so well known for and you toast them a little bit too much.
Yeah, that plum or raisin I'm getting right on the fin. Like as soon as you swallow, like the big swell that hit, it's just there for a minute.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, there is a
sugar.
fruitiness, but like I wouldn't have called it that. That's not what I would have
Not plum?
gone to. No, I didn't get a distinct fruit that I would have come up with. It was just a nice sweetness. It is a fruitiness. This again, other than having a very obvious Springbank just quality to it,
DNA
is very nondescript, well balanced. Everything's put together. Nothing jumps out in a good or bad way. It's a very balanced, well put together whiskey.
Smells great. Yeah, the cognac thing really threw me off. I'm expecting something dramatic in one way or the other, and I'm not getting it.
Now that plum note you're talking about, that is straight up cognac.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not a huge cognac person. I got a couple of buddies that like to drink it every once in a while. A couple guys that play basketball if they love it.
I like cognac
Hennessy,
finishing.
I think.
Yeah, and that's, well, the Hennessy most people are drinking is garbage. There obviously is like higher end stuff, very high end stuff.
I'm not picking up the tab.
No, are you kidding, man? You get like mid tier stuff from them, and it's $60 a pour. Mm-hmm. So make this a little bit more water. I'll take it.
I mean, nice whiskey. It really is a nice whiskey.
I will say it was a little warmer than I expected on the up front. Nothing negative about that. Just kind of heads up. I would have not expected that.
I don't think it's too warm.
No, I don't think it's too warm. I just think it was a little more than I expected.
Now a little bit of
The
sawdust.
water's bringing out.
Yeah. Like a sugary sawdust. Sugary sawdust and oak. Whew. A little bit of spice now. A little twinge of spice.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of wood spice coming through. It's got it very toasted. Like a toffee kind of like drizzle you put on like a cinnamon bun or something. That's definitely cognac.
I tell you what, it's really opening up now.
This is much more subtle in the cognac than I was expecting. I was really expecting a punch. This is not that. This is just balance.
I'm guessing it didn't spend its whole time in cognac, not the 15 years. So I'd be shocked. And that was a well-used barrel if it was.
I think it was 4 years in a refill, but that's not a bad thing.
There's so many more things going on now. And now I get the sugar cookie note to some degree. A little bit of that, a little bit of that baking sugar.
Sugar hooky with some brown sugar added with that cognac just sprinkled on. A little bit of funkiness that's coming from. It's a little bit. It's Springbank, but it's no. I would have thought this was a Springbank and not a Hazelburn, Mike. I mean, I know I don't get a lot of peat notes here, but Hazelburn's usually cleaner, softer. This has got some dirtiness from that cognac.
It does have a little bit of funkiness.
I would just be thinking this is like a local barley where they just didn't get a lot of peated notes because that happens on local barleys.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, yummy whiskey.
Yeah, it is. Water definitely helped this one.
Very unique experience too, Mike. It's definitely outside of the normal Springbank Hazelburn profile, while still obviously being what it is. But it's doing its own thing. I love it.
Wood spice, oak, beautiful sweetness. I mean, the sweetness is just so nice on this. Not over the top, not sickly sweet. Just a beautiful middle-of-the-road sweetness that just complements the whiskey so well. Yeah, I'm struggling to pick up like a lot of distinct cognac notes in this. I'm just not.
But it's balanced by a nice little bit of spice, a little bit of dark notes that really, I mean, you talk about the sweetness. The sweetness is nice, but it's not a sweet whiskey.
Middle-of-the-road sweetness.
Yeah, this is
good compliment.
Balanced, very balanced. I mean, this is just like, if you like Springbank, man, this is maybe not going to be your favorite by any stretch, but it's...
Forget the fact it says cognac on it.
Yeah, it's just a nice whiskey.
You're in long linger M kind of get a little bit of those darker notes that you would think from a cognac, maybe.
I'm definitely getting some cognac here, but it's subtle. And it's just shifting. But again, I keep coming back to it. I would have thought this is Springbank over Hazelburn. It has that, it's heavier.
Yeah. All right, Dustin, whiskey score time. You're a bottle, so I'll go first. This is good whiskey. I mean, this is still I like. It's got good ABV. It's got a lot of good things going for it. I'm not blown away by it, but I think it's a solid offering. 88 out of 100.
Right there with you, Mike. 88 as well. I think this is solid whiskey. I will say if I were going to go with another score, it'd probably be an 87.
Agreed.
But I do think this is just so well balanced. There's nothing I can come up with that's wrong with it. There's nothing I come up with that blows me away. But this is my profile. I love it. I mean, my enjoyment factor is higher just because it's Springbank.
For sure. Yeah,
I have to be, critical and not overscore because, well, this is what I like to drink.
We do that with almost 80 Springbank reviews. We are critical with Springbank and Lagavulin and distilleries. We know that well. Now, you're absolutely right. Like I said, with the sweetness, is kind of, you said middle of the road offering from the distillery. And the sweetness is kind of middle of the road. Like, everything here is good. It's just not exceptional.
But the other thing I like, though, is it balanced it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the cognac added some sweetness.
Nothing's disjointed.
But it also added some, little dirtiness to it. The ABV punch is a little bit bitey, but the finish is softer.
Springbank is such a
just gives you a balance.
It's such a good distillery for that. I mean, they change it up with the cask maturations all the time. Where a single cask or they're regularly sick. You get to see Springbank in every light. And that's what's fun about it.
Every finishing. I was actually talking to Quaker about this. They do so many releases, Mike. So many releases for a distillery that's really not making a lot of whiskey.
Yeah, they get around. Dustin. Nothing less than 46%, I think, right?
I've never seen anything.
Yeah, solid offering. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. We want to thank our good buddy Quaker Oats. I'm guessing that wasn't as God-given. But that's all right, man. You're still a friend. If you guys had a chance to try this one, I'd like to know what you guys think. Cognac, Cask, Hazelburn. Interesting whiskey. Like to hear some thoughts if you guys had a chance to try this one. Dustin, until next time, we'll do this to folks.
Happy experimental drinking.
See you next time.